10th, 2022. The Oilers had started the year 16-5-0, but then went 7-13-3, falling from grace all the way down to 5th place in the Pacific Division. The critics were being proven right. There was simply no forward depth, no goaltending, no legitimate top-pairing defenseman, no power play, and absolutely no hope whatsoever. McDavid would be demanding a trade. Ken Holland needed to go. Management needed to be overhauled. The sky had truly fallen. Then the most shocking news of the entire season came. Dave Tippett was fired, mid-season, something Holland had never done before. It was desperation. It was a man scrambling to save his life. His press conference after the firing left more questions and speculation than confidence. But the Oilers rattled off 5 straight wins to start the Woodcroft era, and all was right with the world. Until suddenly it wasn't again. Over the next 7 games, they went 2-4-1. After now 12 games under Woodcroft, the standings showed the Oilers as no further ahead and with no reason to believe. It was now March 7th, 2022, just 50 days and 24 short games ago. The Oilers were sitting on 64 points, 4 points out of the division, 2 points out of the wild card and playoffs, and a meager goal differential of +4. Fans were being driven to depression, being convinced of hopelessness and total, utter despair. Except for those loyal, heavy hockey fanatics. In the mainstream abyss of darkness where the Oilers weren't even going to make the playoffs, you, my friends, you found the beacon of sunshine. You heard this network talk matter-of-factly about what the Oilers needed to do to not just make the playoffs, but compete for home ice advantage. Now wait just a gosh darn minute. What? You're telling me that on March 7th, not even in a wild-card playoff spot, with only 26 more games to go, the Heavy Hockey Network predicted a possible second-place finish in the whole division? I don't believe you. Well, believe, my friends. Listen and believe. Way back on March 7th, not only did we predict it, we predicted how it would happen. Here's what we said. And I'm going to highlight a couple of key moments that could make or break the season. After a tough 3-game set coming up with the Flames, Capitals, and Lightning, starting next Tuesday, there's a series of 3 games with Detroit, Buffalo, and New Jersey. As long as we win any 2 of those 3, that sets us up nicely. I'd like to take a split with the Kings in our 2 games with them, and take 1 out of the final 3 games versus San Jose. The remaining 2 games against Dallas, also the March 28th home game against Arizona, the April 3rd road game against Anaheim, the April 16th home game against Vegas, and the April 24th game in Columbus. Simply winning even just 9 out of 13 games we should already be expected to win would give us more than half of the required 17 wins to reach 99 points. Now let's go backwards in time and see what actually happened. Starting next Tuesday, there's a series of 3 games with Detroit, Buffalo, and New Jersey. I'd like to take a split with the Kings in our 2 games with them, and take 1 out of the final 3 games versus San Jose. The remaining 2 games against Dallas, also the March 28th home game against Arizona, the April 3rd road game against Anaheim, the April 16th home game against Vegas, and the April 24th game in Columbus. That's right, folks. In the 13 games we identified as true must-wins or ideal wins down the stretch, the Oilers won 11 of them. To get home ice advantage in the first round, we asked for 99 points, with a record of 17 wins, 8 losses, and 1 extra point, and people thought we were crazy. Today, 24 games later, they sit at 100 points, one more than asked for, after amassing a very close to projected record of 17-5-2, and still with 2 games left. Last night's victory, the 17th win since our video, did in fact clinch home ice advantage in round 1 as predicted. Now, after all that, if you're still not satisfied with our goaltending, our depth scoring, our defense,
Do me a personal favor.
Keep in mind, we, as Oilers fans, there were a lot of you that didn't believe this was even a playoff team. At not even that long ago, I've always believed in this roster. I've always said they were deep enough, and here they are, giving it their all. And not only are we in a playoff spot, we're actually fighting for home ice. Like, I know there's a bunch of you out there that never thought that was possible. So after a game like this, for the love of God, take a second and just be happy as an Oilers fan. Just be happy for 1 second and just realize what has gone on from, January to now, and think about what place we're in and the atmosphere around the team now. And just enjoy it for 1 second of your life. Good night.